Hi there. Well, what I'd like to do is show you how to colour in an image like this using layers. To begin, I want to bring in another image I've found. So I'm going to use Place Embedded, and I've found this picture, which is a picture of an old guy in a hat, which I figured we can use to just borrow colours off. Now ideally I want to see these people both at the same time. Now to do that, if I get on my cropping tool, and I've got my cropping tool set to ratio with nothing in these two windows, if I press Alt, I can drag my canvas bigger. It's probably fine. Now I can get my move tool, drag this guy over here, and my original oh, my layer's locked. Photoshop told me off. So I can get both these pictures side by side. That's good, and I suppose I can just move my cropping tool in there, so we've just got them nice and side by side. This will allow us to take colour from this image and put it onto this image. Right, so we should call that image BW for black and white, old man. And this is just our other guy. Right, so I want to start by maybe selecting his hat. So I'm going to make a new layer on top of everything, and I'm going to call it a hat. Then I want to select his hat if I can, so I'm going to use the quick selection tool. I'll just quickly select this. Let's zoom in so we can see what we're doing. I'm just left clicking around it, and you can see we've got some tricky areas already. Here it's overlapped his hair, so if I press the Alt key and get my cursor outside of that area, I can just kind of guide it back a little bit. I'll try and do the same thing there. Works better if you press the right key. There we go. And now I'm going to go select and mask, and see we've got a slightly ragged edge. So I'm just going to drag up smooth here, just to see it's kind of smoothing this edge out, making it a little bit more of a natural thing. And I'm going to feather it a little bit. That just kind of softens this outside edge. I'm going to output to selection. So we've got the hat selected. And then I'm going to use the where's the eyedropper tool gone? There it is, eyedropper tool. So we're going to select that. We're going to click on his hat to pick up a colour, and you can see we've got this colour here now. And then I'm going to use my paint bucket tool, and I'm just going to hit fill. Obviously you think, oh, that's horrible, but we can start messing with the blending modes. So I'm going to change this maybe to overlay, which is usually a good starting point for this. And it's still a bit harshly coloured, but we've also got the option of messing around with the opacity, so we can dial the colour back. So let's try 30%. That might be alright. So we can deselect the hat. Now, can we select his face? We can have a go. Let's get on the quick selection tool and select his face, and maybe his neck. I've overshot. I should zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. And again, we've overshot slightly. Want this piece of ear. That's not so bad, and we probably want to. That's not too bad. So let's make a new layer and call it skin. Skin. And I'm going to get on my selection tool. As I'm holding down left click, can you see that top circle's changing colour? And it lets us pick and choose out of any of these colours. I'm going to pick a colour, something like that will do. And paint pot, fill it in, and then change it to overlay, and dial back the opacity a bit, probably to 30 again. That's alright. Now right away you can see we've got some, he's got like pink eyes and a pink cigarette going on, which we don't really want. What can we do about that? We can put ourselves a layer mask on. So if we look at our layer mask, which is tiny, if we hit Alt, you can see we've got white where his face is and black where we're hiding stuff. I'm just going to press Alt and click on the layer mask to get back out of that view. Let's zoom right in. So to de-pink his eyes, how can we do this? We can get in with a brush. Probably wants to be a fairly hard brush, so something like 85. Let's make it small, and let's make it black. It's already black, and then we can just go in and draw out that colour on the whites of his eyes, just so it looks a little bit less alien. We probably need to do the same trick on his cigarette. Freehand drawing it in. Okay. Now, obviously, he probably wants. He's probably got grey hair, hasn't he? So we can probably just freehand out some of this hair. Too bad. Maybe a grey eyelash there. Alrighty. Okay, gaining on it. Right, let's do the same trick for his jacket. So let's make a new layer and call it jacket. Selecting his jacket. I'm using the quick selection tool, which does a pretty good job. Got to be a little bit patient. Hopefully it doesn't explode, because it does periodically where you're going over this thing and it just jumps big, but you can press Ctrl Z to undo if it does that. So we've got a fairly good selection in there. Just want to check his chin. Yeah, we've got a oops, Control Z, and I'm just holding down the minus key just to get the selection back to there. Let's do select and mask again, and let's smooth it a little bit because that worked nicely, and feather it a little bit, and output to selection. Now we're on the jacket layer. So let's get our eyedropper tool and pick up a bit of a grey colour. Let's try that. And then let's fill it. Change it to overlay. And dial back the opacity. I don't like that colour. Let's step back to before we filled it in, because I'm thinking, why am I colouring in a grey suit grey? Let's go with like a deep blue. I'm just going to pull a really dark blue off his jeans, like that. And let's try filling it with that. And then changing that to overlay. And then dialing back the opacity. That's a bit more, that's nicer. One of the good things about layers is it allows us to change our minds and unpaint things if we've made a mistake. So I'm able to turn the jacket on and off, I can turn the hat on and off, and the skin on and off, and we're able to select them separately. What should we do for the background? Now, our guy here is on kind of a green background. Let's try and do something similar to that. So let's try and select all the background, but not the guy. Oh, got his hat already. So hopefully I'm pressing Alt again to deselect. Ooh. Sort of doing it. Let's get select and mask on again. Let's smooth it out a bit. Smoothing it out. Feathering it. Just to give us a softer selection. An output to selection again. Let's make our new layer and call it background. Background. Let's find ourselves a colour. I'm thinking a darker, one of the darker kind of green colours might go in slightly better. But again, if we don't like it, we can always change it. And then fill. And then change it to overlay. Again, let's dial it back to about 30. Because we don't want it to be too boldly coloured. Right, I don't think we're too bad at that. Now that would do as a reasonable first pass. What I might be tempted to do, like on the skin layer, is quite this guy's got a lot more gradient of tone in it, so there's like darker areas and lighter areas, where this is kind of sort of all one thing. So I'm wondering if we get onto our masks layer and let's get ourselves a largish brush. Let's make it really soft though, and just where would it be lighter? It's taking off too much. Let's turn the opacity down a long way and the flow down a long way, just so we can pull some of that colour out of it. That's not too bad. Let's do the same with the hat. Let's make a mask layer for the hat as well. So that's all in white, so we're going to be drawing in black. I'm just going to pull a bit of the colour out, just so we've got a bit of variation in tone. Let's do the same for the background as well. So let's throw up another mask, again drawing it in black. I'm just going to pull some of the green out just from the top of the picture. So it's green down here, fading into kind of black and white up there. And you see, I was able to squidge all the way across the picture, but I was only selecting the background because I've got it on a separate layer. Just makes it a little bit more powerful. So let's do the same with the jacket for completion's sake. So we've made a layer mask for that too, and I can just patch in here and there. Let's have a look how we're looking. So that's not too bad. I think it's coloured without looking overly coloured. they can end up looking quite gaudy. So we'll leave it at that because I've rambled on long enough. Thank you for watching.